Hello, everyone, and welcome to Falling Skies Fan Podcast, brought to you by ProXPN. ProXPN is a virtual private network that allows you to use the internet the way it should be, anonymously and without oversight. For 20% off your new account, go to proxpn.com/podcast and use the coupon code TPENET. I'm Hank Davis, and joining me on the line, he is my partner in crime. He's Alex Cruz. How the heck are you, Alex?
Hey, great. A nice way to begin the season with two-parter explosive episodes. So,
Yeah, I did like that. And ratings, since we're recording, it's Monday, just after almost 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. No ratings so far.
so I'm kind of hoping that by some miracle I'll have them by the end of the episode.
Just keep hitting refresh. That always helps.
Exactly.
That always helps. Alex, do you want to just jump
But
right into our review of hour one?
yeah,
And then we'll transition into hour two. So I was kind of surprised to see that we start out with Diego and a group of youngsters in harnesses. And where were they working? Were they were they in coal mines, or why were they so dirty?
it looked like they were trying to. I assume they were after some type of a mineral that the aliens would be using. And is it me, or when we saw Diego, I the thing I wanted to do was go upstairs into my T-shirt drawer and get my Vote for Pedro T-shirt.
I thought that was the last we seen of him last season. You know, with Gene and Weaver making such headway in their relationship. I was like, well, maybe they just got rid of Diego permanently. But no, he was here and he was all harnessed.
Yeah, he was kind of a, I guess, a character no one really definitely cared about.
No, they didn't. So there's a mech that's like, stomping by them, this the nice CG mech stomping by as Gene, Matt, and Weaver look on. So Matt is in the field. He's got a gun. He's a soldier.
And not only that, he has a Jerry curl.
Can they call it a Jerry curl when he's Caucasian, or is it a perm?
I don't know, but it looked very Jerry curlish to me.
Yeah, he had some curly locks going there, which was pretty funny. But would you really trust this little youngster with charges?
Or would you want to gamble his life?
That's what I was wondering. Why is Tom okay with him being on missions and in the field? I mean, he was in it.
And not only that, but if you take a close look at these explosives he's planning, they're very alien looking.
Yeah, yeah. So the when he's planting those charges, the mech is looking for him. Doesn't seem, and Weaver gets on that old school big butt military walkie-talkie, and I about fell out of my chair because I loved how big that thing was. He was like, "All right, come on, it's time to strike."
And I'm pretty sure this was the exact same type that my father used when he was in the army back in the early 60s.
So right then, that's when Ben and his little friend, they get into the fray, and so do the berserkers. They hit these guys hard and take them down. So it looked like those explosions kind of disrupted the mech somehow.
And yeah, there was some type I'd call it a charge or a wave that was coming out of them.
Uh oh, you're breaking up, Alex. Do you have anything else running in the background besides Skype?
Yeah, I'm on the I'm on Zap to it.
Okay, it's clearing up a little bit now. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Okay, there was some type of like a wave or like some type of a chart or a charge I want to say that was coming out of this that was affecting the I want to say the electronics of the mech systems.
Yeah, like an EMP or something.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
was
yeah,
thinking.
yeah, yeah. It was a pulse. It was definitely a pulse.
Because that mech is like staggering like a professional wrestler, like whoa, whoa,
Right.
I'm off balance. And then I was trying to figure out here's the poll question of the week: who latched on harder to Diego, the harness or Gene? I mean, she's like, "Oh, do you remember me?" I'm like, "Come on, dude. Haven't you seen like hundreds of harnessed people by now?" Where you just walk up
Not
to them and be
yet.
like, "Have you? Do you remember me? You recognize me? You remember who I am?" No. And let's keep it that way. No, I'm just kidding. This is what this is my first aha moment was Weaver is now a colonel.
Yeah, a lot has gone on in the well
7 months.
7 months. So in our time, it's taken 10 months. In their time, 7 months. So we see a lot of changes. We see Weaver is now a colonel.
Yep.
And then we see somebody has decided to take the presidency after all, after swearing up and down that he
Yeah, we'll
wouldn't.
get into that in just a minute. So Pope is not too happy about the whole plan, especially with the working with the aliens and all that stuff. He seems to be a little bit annoyed or something about having to
Yeah,
work with everybody in tandem like that.
well, something's going on. I mean, the two episodes. I mean, we know Pope has a chip on his shoulder, but it seems like the chip was even wider in these two episodes. Something definitely was going on.
So I guess this was the point where the rebel skitters help and join in, and I was thinking to myself, like, if you're the second mass, how do you tell them apart? You just wait till somebody tries to kill you. One of them
I was gonna say you really can't.
you can't, except for the one with the paint on his face, which is kind of silly. But they kind of saved the day, to be honest with you, because I don't know how well the second mass would have done with with those other skitters that came out to kick some butt. I don't know how they would have
Right.
done if they wouldn't have had their own skitter group, because it appears that they know every move that the second mass is going to make. And that's when Tom comes in on horseback with Cochise. And he's got the cool alien guns, man. I
They
was like,
got pew pew guns. And isn't it amazing how these pew pew guns almost look like M16s?
yeah, they look exactly like an M16, don't they?
You know what? I think it's really cool. They got these energy rifles now, but come on, make
Not buying
but
it.
make them look like at least you can rip off Star Wars or something.
Make them look a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but those weapons were cool nonetheless. And my major question was, why didn't the rest of
Yes.
the team have those guns? Why wasn't it only Cochise and Tom that had those weapons?
I'm absolutely with you, because that's exactly what I said.
And that's gonna. And you know what? I think the sad thing is this is the only time in the two episodes we see these weapons.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because the rest of the group just is stuck with regular bullets that don't seem to ever work.
Right.
And Weaver calls the new mechs, he calls them mega mechs at this point in the show. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. These are new mechs, I guess we could call them, but that's something different this season. And I know we'll talk about it in a little bit, but there's some changes this season that were kind of noticeable. We got new characters and all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely. Now, this is where it starts to kind of come together, because the second mass is still working with General Bressler, and now Tom is the president. I was kind of shocked to see them still in Charleston.
because at the end of the last season, they were bound and determined to leave Charleston,
Which,
and
yeah, and I thought they had, when it opened, I was like, well, maybe they've, made a camp somewhere else or something, and we're just picking up from here or whatnot. But when I seen them go back there and Bressler is there and such, I was like, wow, okay. And then, this is where we find out that Tom is president. This is where we find out it's been 7 months. It was like reveal, reveal. And then bam, Hal is in a wheelchair. It's like all these reveals all at once thrown on you. And I was like, wow, okay, it has been some time.
yeah, and we see Anne is very pregnant.
Yeah, and I was like, at that point, I goes, man, Alex is wrong, man. She's she's still pregnant. There's not a baby, because I thought you were insinuating that she already had the baby off screen
Oh, no, 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 no.
the other day when we did our season 3 look ahead. I was thinking that you meant that we were just gonna come on and it was gonna be a little baby already.
You know what? I may have said that, and that could have very well been the case. But as as we're gonna find out, that wasn't at all.
No,
Um,
it was not. There was I guess there was a few things in this show that were a little head scratchy. Like you said, how come everyone doesn't have the guns, right? And then Anne performs that surgery on Diego and all the other harness kids, and she's got alien technology to remove those harnesses, but yet they don't have technology for certain other things.
yeah, I noticed that too. In fact, there was something that's going to be coming up in which they said, "Oh, we don't know how to do that." I said, "What do you mean you don't know how to do that? You got this machine that the aliens gave you. Certainly, they have other technology they'll give you too."
Exactly. We
But
agree.
but as I stated the last episode, um, the Volm, they're I know I parallel this with the American Revolution. They're kind of like the French coming to help.
Yeah, so
And that
explain.
wasn't it wasn't only the French that came to help though. It was other nations. The Prussians came in to help, and just all kinds of other nations that came in to help the Patriots out. And but why are only see the Volm, they kind of only want to help when it's convenient for them, I think.
Yeah. Yes. They don't want to get they I think they said that their numbers are kind of limited right now though.
Okay.
Was that part of the do you think that could be part of the problem?
They could.
Or is it something more? Ooh. And then Pope was, he was complaining the whole time after the mission and such. And the Berserkers are like, hey, we could take off. We could head to Mexico.
Yeah, let's go to Mexico.
And why do you think he's still reluctant to go? Because he's like, well, I don't want to get caught by aliens. Everybody's gunning for us right now. Do you think that's it, or do you think there's more?
I don't know. I think maybe there's something that we don't quite see yet with Pope,
Okay. Yeah.
which
He's got to have some angle of why he won't leave because he's still sticking around, even though he complains at every turn. So when they head to the war room, Weaver gives us that first impression that, I don't like this Cochise being in the room with us here. And General Porter, who is, yeah, you heard that right. He's now a general. He butts in and acknowledges that, the second mass and the resistance is kicking butt now with the aliens' help.
and notice that uh, did we talk about when Cochise started to talk?
It's right now. We say it right
It's
now.
it's it's English. It's perfect English. There's no Starfleet translators or anything, so
Yeah. And he called that new Mac terrain advanced droid or something like that.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. It looks a little better. It's rendered a little better than the typical Mac to me, but I wasn't. I don't.
And you know what? That's something that I noticed in this episode. I mean, the special effects were right on.
Yeah, they did a lot better job.
And there was really nothing to make fun of except for the pew pew guns and how they should look like alien technology, not M16. So evidently they must have M16s where the Volm are from.
They're like, look, we'll modify them to make them look like what you guys use or something. I don't know. And this is also where we find out that, during all their discussion, they're talking about, hey, how did they know we were going to be there again and such? And they're like, there's a mole in our group here. And that's when Tom says he's going to have Arthur do some investigation.
And what's neat about this, because now I think this is going to kind of be the theme of the season is who is the mole. And I was so scared that they were going to reveal that at least by the end of the second episode. And I think they need to keep on going with this at least until the mid-season, which of course this being 10 episodes, we're actually let's see, two tenths an eighth out of the way, or a fifth. We're a fifth of the way into the new season.
Yeah, you make a good point. I thought for sure you would say, let us know sooner rather than later, but you're saying, hey, make it a slow burn, make it be some twist and turn.
And make it some really cool reveal, like, I'd never thought of that.
Because to me, the obvious choice would be Hal at this point. Because
and you know what? I think that's what the red herring that the writers want you to think.
Yep.
Because that was my first thought. It was, it has to be Hal.
I agree with you. I think the writers are like, hey, let's really put it in their face that Hal's not in control. He's having trouble. He's still got that bug in him.
But there's kind of a clue downward on the line that I think it can't be Hal.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Now this threw me off a little bit when Hal is to me, I thought he was having a dream or a flashback. So he's standing in the woods, he's talking to Karen, and then they start making out. And then Hal wakes up with Maggie after his nightmare. And he's got a bad attitude, man. He's really snotty and mean towards her.
Now, I kind of thought that, to me, that seemed to be a little bit too real to be a dream.
Oh, okay. So you knew right off the bat?
Well, I didn't know off the bat. I suspected.
Okay.
I suspected that right away, that it very well could be that he's actually sleepwalking, and he's actually experiencing that, because he doesn't have to really walk too far of a way to get into this into like a forest area.
Yeah. Okay. Tom and his assistant, Marina Perlata, which she was new to the show, so I was like, who are you?
Yeah, this is one of our new characters.
And then she meets up with, they meet up with Ben and Danny to tell them that the rebel skidders want to talk. So Ben and his friend are
is that what her name is, Danny?
I think so. I'm going
Okay,
to double check it.
I didn't quite catch her name, and I know I talked to you about this off air. She kind of reminded me a bit about Stupid Mike's Dead Harness son, but a female version of it.
Oh, nice.
But I kind of like the playfulness between the two characters. I mean, she called him Benji.
Yes.
Or something, and he didn't like it. Just kind of like a tease, a very teasing way. So, yep. So another new character, and it seems like we have a lot of new characters this time around.
Did you find that a little frustrating, or did you find it to be, okay?
I thought it was okay because I know they're going to reveal where these characters came from eventually.
Okay.
With I think there was Lars was the only new member that I had a little bit of problem with because they were acting like he's been in since season one, and really the character's kind of brand new, you know?
Yeah, yeah, they did try to slip that by us. It appeared they were trying to slip it by us anyway. I don't know if that's what their intent was, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
All right, so I was gonna search that for that individual, but I will in a little bit. So Hal is trying to walk while Lourdes and Maggie they're like 10 feet away, just having a full on discussion about his nightmares and him acting a little different and stuff, and Maggie just continues to suggest that Karen did something, and this is when Lourdes says, "Hey, we examined him thoroughly and we didn't find anything."
Okay, this is where that came into play where they, you know how they have the Vulm technology to remove the harnesses.
Yep.
The Vulm should have given them some technology to scan this.
Yeah, because it's physically something in him.
Exactly.
And you're telling me you can't find this? I mean, if that were the case, then how come the overlords don't run everything if they can just harness or bug every single person they come across?
Definitely. I mean, that would have been an easy. I think that would have been an easy thing.
Yeah, me too. So it's kind of a situation where when you're playing with technology and then you decide to use it then and at this one point, but not at this other point,
Right.
it kind of takes away from the show. And we've seen that on other shows where it's like, oh, okay, you have this, this, and this, but you can't come up with this. That's
Yeah.
convenient.
Exactly.
Convenient writing. All right, so he's been examined thoroughly, and then Hal takes the time to apologize to Maggie. Pretty much so they can make out, I'm assuming, because that's what happens. Sorry about the whole thing. He seems to apologize a lot in this episode. This is when we kind of get into a little bit of covert type of investigating. When Arthur meets with Anthony about the mole, and then Anthony says that he doesn't have a motive. Hey, what would my motive be? You know, did you find that weird that he just offers up that, aren't you sure? How are you sure I'm not the mole?
No, because the only thing that I think astounded me was this has been the most that Anthony has ever spoken in, I think, the whole two seasons of Falling Skies, and now all of a sudden he's given all this dialogue, which I'm happy to see. But
Yeah.
come on, how come they couldn't give him more in season two? He was basically non-existent.
We're losing you again, Alex.
Oh,
Let's pause and then we're gonna reconnect.
all right.
Oh, the joys of live internet TV.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
You're clear most of the time, and then every once in a while, that's the first time that's ever really happened to us in a long time,
Huh.
where it just gets like illegible.
Yeah.
All right, so let me restart the recording. All right, so Anthony seems to be shocked about the list of names he has to look into. So there had to be some good, juicy names. You know Hal's name has to be on there.
Well, sure. And what's neat is you could see his reaction to the list, and then it's like, okay, who's on it? Who's on it? We want to know. And they're not gonna give it to us.
Yeah, I wanted to see a rundown. I wanted to see like, hey, because I think so and so should be on there. Why aren't they on there? And stuff. I wanted a list of like who done it. It has to be a lot of people that were in the room, in the meeting room. It has to be a lot of high profile people, I would think, because that's the only
Well,
way
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
you would get that information is being inside that room. And they did have a little too many people in that room when they're talking about strategy and such. So we'll see. We'll see more later. This is when the part where Ben translates for Tom and Weaver, and we find out that the aliens have failed to take down Charleston. So they've been under attack a few times that we find out.
And this must have occurred during those 7 months.
Yes, the lost 7 months
Yeah.
that we will never see. And then the Volm have ships coming to Earth, and I guess was it the Skitters or who that think that they may have something up their sleeve? That the Volm Cochise's men.
No, I think it's all the second mass and the
Because Ben
people at
says
Charleston are suspecting of something.
because at that point Ben says, or so they say,
Right.
when he's speaking for that Skitter. That's why I think the Skitters don't trust him either.
Now, I was watching the second mass after show yesterday. The actor who plays Cochise what was asked, okay, well, whose side are the Volm on? Are they actually the good guys that we all expect them to be, or do they have another motive altogether? And so the actor just kind of jokingly says, "Yeah, you can trust the Volm." And as he was saying that, he was shaking his head, "No, you can't do that."
Oh no.
But I think he was just being playful about it. And then at the end, he says, "Yeah, you can." He said, "These are the good guys that they need."
Okay.
So I don't know. I know that the Volm do have their own agenda, and hopefully, I'm hoping it's the same agenda as the second mass.
Yeah, me too. And then the Skitter also, speaking through Ben, also informs them that the aliens have a new overlord who is a human. And Tom suggests, oh, Karen.
Now, to me, I thought that was kind of cheesy. Why would they trust her? Okay, she's a harnessed kid. Why would you give such power to a harnessed kid?
I'm with you. I thought it was ridiculous. I was like, well, maybe that's a way to keep her character going longer or something, or have her, have her in a more prominent role or something. But I'm with you. I think that's kind of silly.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Makes zero sense. So okay. Anne has the harnessed 25 kids, and Tom says, "Well, I'm the president of 20 square blocks." So, so touche, honey, touche. Uh, so, and then Anne gives the old. I kind of miss being on the road. What did you read anything into that?
Uh, Not really.
Okay.
It's like,
You
again, we have that transition period from how the second mass were supposed to get the heck out of Charleston, and when we find them, they're still there. Like, what happened that they are still there?
the stupidest part of the episode to me. This is the stupidest scene of the episode when Anne drops a pin and then she bends over to get it and she's like, "Oh, my water broke." I was like, "Are you serious? You're just so nonchalant about it too." "Oh, my water broke." I was like,
Okay.
you wouldn't be freaked out or you wouldn't be like embarrassed or startled or whatever. I was just like, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I just started laughing because I was like, that was dumb. Bending over to pick something up. Just, oh, snap. There he goes. So Arthur has his mole list down to 12. But Tom doesn't have any time to look at it right now. And that was critical to me. Because do you think if Tom would have looked at the list, he would have been offended, or would he have been able to bring some insight to that list, do you think?
I don't know. I think they wanted to keep this kind of secret and hush hush. And I know Anthony had stated everybody know there's a mole.
Yeah, the whole town knows. Yes. So this is when we are kind of introduced to the new aliens, the Volm, having their own little private bunker as Gene and Diego kind of look on. He recovered pretty fast too from his surgery, didn't he?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I'm up and at him.
I think there must be something to do with the writing of Revolution, the writing Fallen Skies. How these characters are injured and then boom, they're up and about, good as new.
Yeah, brand new, no time. And this is also when we find out that the Volm are trying to liberate planets from the overlords. So these guys are like the Avengers. They just go from planet to planet and say, hey, we'll help you. But wonder what the price is going to be.
Yeah.
And this is when we get introduced to Lars, one of the other new characters. And Lars is kind of stepping up to Pope because he's like, hey, what are you, some sort of alien lover? And did that not bring you to like racial
Oh yeah.
racial intolerance? I was like, wow, okay, they're gonna play it like this. All right,
They are going there.
they're gonna go there. All right, I'll take it for a grain of salt. And to me, I felt like Pope was like backing down or something because he
Yeah,
didn't want to
seemed
fight.
like it seemed like they hit a nerve with him, didn't it?
Yeah, and he was standing up to that guy, and then he was like, "Hey, I'll just buy everybody drinks." I was like, "Okay, you don't want to fight, do you?"
And evidently, does Pope own that bar?
Yeah, it seems like that's his little I don't know, hideaway or whatever. I don't know if he was stealing alcohol to bring in there or if he was just going and getting it out of a storage area. Because it almost looked like he didn't want to be spotted when he was taking
Yeah,
bottles
I'm
of.
kind of led to believe he might have stolen it somewhere.
Yeah, he's a thief. Awesome. And then when Anne is in there and she's like, it's going to be a long night or whatever. Then we find out that the Masons play Monopoly when their mothers are about to give birth or something.
Okay.
And I'm like, how would Matt know if he's the youngest? How would he know this tradition?
Only other than stories, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a story or something. I'll go get the Monopoly board. I was like, you can leave the room. How about that, you little turd? Oh, goodness. Then this is when things get dicey. And Arthur's at his desk and somebody's at the door and they come in, or they don't really come in. They just kind of like a hand. We see like a black glove or whatever. And
Now,
Arthur's
did
like, "Oh, it's you. Oh,
I
so
want
it's
to
you," or something. He says like that.
right?
And I was like, "Wow, who done it?" That's what I
And
was.
to me, if you saw the silhouette going in there, it was kind of it appeared to be somebody extremely thin,
Okay.
and I'm thinking almost it could be a female. That's what I was thinking.
I thought as soon as I heard him say something about it's that time or something, like he was being summoned for something or something, and then he's like, "Oh, so it's you." I was thinking to myself, Marina, Tom's
Okay.
assistant. That's what I was
Okay.
thinking because it would make sense. He would expect to see her if there
Right.
was some kind of meeting or something going on, but he would be shocked, like, "Oh, you're the freaking mole because you're gonna take me because you're trying to take me out." You know?
So my first suspect as the mole, of course, was what would be an obvious red herring, which would have been Hal.
Yep.
And if it would have been Hal just walking right in there, he would have said something. Oh, you're walking now, or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yes. Good point. Good
So that's
point.
why Hal is now
Off the
off
list.
off the list.
Okay. I like that. That's a
And
great point.
and so you know what? I'm kind of thinking of like the characters and stuff. Um, Anne is off the list because she's given birth.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to think of any of the other major female characters. We got Jean and we got Maggie.
Yep. Do you think either one of them could do it?
Could very well be.
Oh man, that sucks. That sucks.
And imagine what a big shocker if it was Gene.
Because Cochise wouldn't be just allowed to walk around that complex
No,
unguarded, correct?
exactly.
Because I seen the gloves and I'm like, well, let me see his gloves or whatever, since he's skinny. But yeah, it's a woman. I think it's a woman too. I don't know. We're gonna have to really look into this. I can't wait to hear what other people think as well. So this is when Tom Weaver and the generals go over the facts about Arthur's death, and I was like, man, they killed Arthur off that fast. Oh, that sucked.
Which surprised me because he had a show in the fall.
Six
Well,
six six Park
Park,
Avenue.
yeah, and I did watch that,
He's a good actor.
and he kind of played a character that was who could or maybe he was the
The
devil
devil.
himself,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a good little show, but evidently the
Nobody else
everybody else did. So
did. You were the only one. That's awesome.
which lead me to believe maybe he's on to other things. I don't know.
Oh, heck yeah. He'll have another gig before you know it. So Anne's pushing away and gives birth to what is essentially a 1 year old. I'm like, did you see the size of that baby? I was like, get out of here.
And you know what I thought too, doing the math, if she just found out 7 months ago she was pregnant, was that a 7 month pregnancy or maybe an 8 month pregnancy?
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that.
Was she would she have been 2 months pregnant when she first found out? I don't know. To me, that didn't quite sound that
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Good pickup. And then she kisses the baby with that yucky crap on it. And I was like, gross. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. So Tom is delivering a speech to the people, and they've got alien guns, they've got medical gear, they've got kick butt alien EMPs or grenades, but they've got old school microphones and terrible speakers.
Yeah.
That's the part I was like, okay, wow, you couldn't get a nice little alien Bose technology or something? Come on.
Well, it would have been nice.
And this is when Pope reveals that he's got a plan. First, he says, "I'm going to be sick. I think I'm going to be sick." And then he says, "I have a plan." And I'm like, wonder what this is going to be. Or are they going to just kind of nullify Pope's character for us? That's the part I'm worried about.
Well, being Pope, I think Pope is gonna. You know what? It's not Pope's time yet. Pope is gonna come out in a big way, I think.
I hope so, because he's
And
a really
this
good
is a
character.
popular character,
Yeah.
if not the most popular character, I think, on the show. And so for him to come out and just be silent, and then that's what I think. That's what he was. He's just been holding back, and we're gonna have that one episode where you know what, not holding back any longer.
I hope so, because he's got to be more of a focused character this season. So it's flashback time, or so I thought, with Hal again. And he listens to Karen tell him that she's planted a probe in his cerebral cortex. It's a dream that ends in sex, of course. But it's not.
Those are the best kind of dreams.
But it's not a dream. We know that it's not a dream after a while. We know. Tom and Weaver are having a drink. I mean, they're just getting loaded all throughout the show if you notice closely. And they're talking about when they decided to stay instead of leave Charleston. And then Weaver continues to express his skeptical nature of those new aliens, Cochise and company. The Volm. The Volm. So I was like, well, I guess they're continuing to reiterate that Weaver doesn't like it. He's got a hunch. He's got a bad feeling. So there's got to be something up with that. We'll find out. And then Anne is sleeping and the Star Child is standing up on her own. And you asked me if I thought this was going to be a Star Child, and I said, please don't let it be. And it looks like this is a Star Child, doesn't it?
Oh, it is through and through. And as we find out by the end of the second episode, it definitely it I don't know, it's creepy to me.
Yeah, it's extremely annoying. So I don't know how I feel about that whole. I mean, how many shows have tried that already? That there's this special baby born that's part alien, part human, or whatever and stuff.
Well, they did it in the 2V series.
Yeah,
Um, and if you're a reader of comic books, not that crappy manga crap that they were tossing, did you notice that argument between comic books and manga
yes, I
that
did.
Annie and Ben were having an argument on?
Yes, I did, and I'm like, oh goodness.
And you know what? As everybody knows, if anyone ever listened to my old show, Cruise on Comics, I have a hatred for manga comics,
He
and
said,
it stems all the way through till now, because I'll go to a bookstore and I go to the comic section, and what's going on is the comic section is being taken over by the manga section, and the artwork. And I know people out there might like manga, but the artwork is terrible. I swear it's the same artist who does it, and it's really
just annoying.
contrite. And anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now. um, so anyway, yeah, they're having this friendly discussion. I just thought, yeah, but unfortunately, Ben has poor taste because I think he likes the manga.
Oh yeah, me too. I think he does. He looks like somebody that would like that crap. All right, so Hal is missing his boots. Said that my boots have gone missing, and we set them right over here there last night. And when Maggie finds them, they're freaking in the back of this little like closet or cabinet, and they're all
They're
muddy. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, like, oh, brother. So they leave part one with Cochise, Weaver, and Tom checking out a new project. It's above top secret, and it's supposed to be the decisive weapon to end the war that the Volm are creating. But what is it? We don't even really find out.
I think it's the laser, the laser that's used from the Death Star.
Yeah, we see how effective that was, wasn't it? Boom, boom. So that is the end of episode one, and let's jump right into episode two, shall we? Do you want to
All
rate them
right.
individually, or do you want to rate them together?
Let's rate them together.
Okay, fair enough. Ben and the Bionic Woman have found a place that houses the new mechs. So they're doing their recon on this whole thing. And we see like these rotting, dying, harnessed kids. So is that when you started to think, okay, it's a
Well,
lot
radiation poisoning is
Yeah.
what it is.
yeah. And I guess I didn't even observe exactly the setting until Ben is there taking pictures and talking about it, I guess.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, that's not cool. And wouldn't aliens know that human bodies can't withstand that? I don't know.
Evidently, they have so many that they're expendable.
Okay. They're just like, who cares?
Yeah.
You can take it or not. So Pope is thinking that the humans are going to be enslaved after they win the war. And I'm like, you know what? He's kind of like laying out the storyline for us, which I thought was pretty good because that is a good possibility.
Well, there's a lot of mistrust of the Volm, even though they're supposedly helping. See, it seems to be like kind of two houses. There's the house that that I think Weaver and Pope are on. They're like, we don't trust these guys. And then there's Tom's group was like, yeah, we trust these guys. We have nothing to lose.
True. Because if they had to fight all of them plus the other ones, well, they'd get their butts kicked.
Definitely.
Lars is hitting on Maggie until Hal shows up and gets all jealous.
And so I'm thinking right at this moment that, oh, this is kind of cool. There's going to be kind of like a love triangle thing going on here.
And I thought it was weird when Maggie said, "You could walk if you want to. You just don't want to." And I was like, "What?"
Right.
Because I wasn't clear on the whole subject or situation at that point, and I was sitting there like, "What is that supposed to mean?" So it's strategy time with Weaver, Porter, and Tom. They're talking about the site that Ben was scouting. They need to talk to some doctor about. He's living in the power plant underground. Dr. Kadar. Who's a nutball, and they need to go talk to him about that plant. Because they want to blow it up, but they're like, wait a minute, that could be a problem.
I thought this character was kind of a relative of Dr. Sheldon Cooper. He's kind of just quirky like that.
Yeah, he was really strange, agoraphobic, and strange about. And when they get down there, he's like, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Tom. And he's like, he's all like, I don't know, he was all over the place. And then he's like, I'll have a plan together tomorrow. I'm like, excuse me? Did I miss something? Because at first he was like, oh man, he was all talking to himself, freaking out. And then he's like, I'll have a plan together tomorrow. And here we go with the Star Child saying mama and mommy.
Ooh, was that creepy?
Oh, that freaked me out, man. Because anything with babies, I'm just like, man, I do not like that advanced little baby stuff, man. That just weirds me out. Because they can pick and choose when they're going to do something,
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you? Sleep tight. I'd be like, oh. That freaks me out. And do you think it's weird that Anne won't tell Tom about the baby? She just says, oh, she's so advanced.
Yeah, that's all she says. She's so advanced. It's like she's scared to tell him.
Yeah. It's like she wants him to see for himself or something. But I was like, wouldn't that be the first thing you would do is go, look, sit down here. We're going to have a little, unless she thinks she's going nuts. Because she did say that at one point. She's like, well, maybe I'm just losing a little bit or something.
Yeah.
This is the part when Matt and his buddies blow out that window in that abandoned house or whatever. And they blow the crap out of this window. It's supposed to just be a little funny prank or something, I guess. But
it's no mere firecracker.
No. It's like a freaking stick of dynamite almost. And obviously they get caught because it was a big explosion. Anthony and a bunch of people catch him. And then Anne's yelling at him, and he's like, you're not my mother. And she's like, okay, I know I'm not your mom, but you still have detention for 2 weeks. And I was like, man, he's got a little bit of Hank Davis in him. Me and detention, hand in hand.
Yeah, I kind of thought it's like what wound could cut deeper than the infamous words to like a step parent. You're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they go to when they're mad. That's the first thing they say, which is fine because nobody's trying to be. They're just trying to look out for his little bratty self. So I didn't realize he had sprouted up so much, but that's what.
Well, yeah, he's grown. I mean, he's his voice is changing. He's not the little kid anymore.
No, and he was on. I follow him under a different account, under a TPE network account on Twitter, and he kept tweeting stuff all last week about. He wasn't doing spoilers, but he was like, "I'm not the little kid anymore," and I'm ready for action and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, what is he talking about? And then now we see, he wasn't playing. He grew up a little bit.
We're expecting him to be in an adult movie.
No, let's not. Let's
He's
pray.
really 18 years old.
Let's pray he's not 18. So Dr. Screwloose has a plan, and they're going to need to turn the reactor off, then blow it up. It's that simple. But the doctor's like, well, I'm not going to be going topside, so I'm not going up there with you because nothing good ever happens when I go up there.
And see, and that was kind of funny in and of itself, because I thought about this. Maybe this guy could be the mole, because literally he's a mole if he's underground, right?
Oh, no. No, you didn't.
And he had an agreement with the previous president.
Yeah, the previous
So
administration.
So
So he might be a little upset, you're saying?
it could be possible.
He had feminine hands.
He's quirky enough to do something like that.
He had feminine hands as well, right? All right. General Porter gives us the 411 on this next mission. And the doctor, did you notice him try to sneak out of the room? And
Yeah.
they were like, no, you're going to. And Tom's assistant was the one that was like, no, you're going to stay here. I thought that was great.
And she's the one that talks him into it.
Yeah, she was the one that talks. So it makes you wonder if I might be onto something here.
Well,
then
could be.
Pope said he's not a fan of the plan, and I was thinking to myself, but is this the real plan, or is it not? The Berserkers are talking about gold and such when Ben shows up, and then Weaver mentions that that he does better when Tom is by his side. So what? Why are the Berserkers? Why are they so worried about like physical possession stuff in this post-apocalyptic world?
Well, because their greediness still holds on to it.
I'm just like, okay, so let's say you do get a bunch of gold, then what? Buy the aliens off?
Yeah.
What
What are you gonna do with it?
Where are you gonna go with it? I just thought it was silly. And then they're like, well, you could go to Mexico. They always keep referencing Mexico, but I'm like, we haven't even seen what does Mexico look like right now, or whatever. Because remember, Lourdes had some kind of situation where family and stuff was all.
Yeah, they were in Mexico.
Yeah,
that's right.
they were all not dead, but maybe most of them were dead or something. I thought,
Yeah.
but I thought that was just strange. But when Weaver says they do better when Tom's by his side, did you take that as he misses that camaraderie with Tom, or did you take it as Tom doesn't see the field as often as he used to?
You know what? I took it as I think Tom needs Weaver more than Weaver needs Tom.
Oh, okay.
That's where I
Went for. Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. Someone is breaking into the war room and scanning the maps to see where the team will be working. They use some device, some little ball like device, and
Yeah.
and it noticed. What did it notice? It was picking up like
It noticed a fingerprint, not only a fingerprint but like a finger smudge
okay,
that
this is where we're going to be going in
it
at.
directed to the rear where it was unprotected.
Excellent. Okay. So
And notice too that the energy pistol that was used to kill our former president
Arthur? Okay.
was indeed it looked more like a futuristic energy weapon and not some M16 energy rifle.
Oh, okay. Good call out. Okay. So the team gets ambushed, and here we go. It was a plan all along, according to Tom and Maggie. They're just standing out in the open. So here's my thing: is how does he know it's not her? Why did he include her in on the ground floor of this plan?
Right.
That's the part where I was like, okay, well, you're predicating this on that you trust her completely or something,
And so, and you know what? When we kind of think about who the mole could be, let's go back to the game of Clue. Okay,
Okay.
you had to have like a motive. What was the motive? Well, Maggie's is easy. They cured her of her cancer.
Ooh. Didn't even think about that.
But with that being said, the mole didn't really show itself until they were in Charleston, so it could very well be a Charleston resident or one of those people.
Okay. Will you be disappointed if it ends up being somebody that they don't show, regularly? That somebody that's not a central character? I think
You know
I would
what?
be.
I don't know. I don't know if it's so much of that or it could be a relief because everyone like oh please no let it be Maggie because this is a character we've all kind of all grown to love and um I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Tom and company are going into the reactor, but they meet resistance. Were you shocked by that?
Yeah, notice what the resistance were the harness kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm surprised that they didn't do this earlier. They
Oh,
didn't,
okay. Kind of make that life decision
right,
with the harness kids instead of fighting aliens or mechs.
right.
Okay. And then when they had the kid screaming, it hurts, I was like, man, that's going a little far, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That creeped me out a little bit too. I was like, oh man, that's messed up.
And it's like, you know what? If I were in a situation like that, to me that just screams of trap.
Yeah, it does.
It's a trap. There's just
Yeah, you're right.
nothing to get around that. And sure, but I I don't know if that was another red herring, but it really wasn't a trap because there was a kid who passed away right away.
Yeah. And then the little Wolverine skidder or harness kid, he tore Lars up, man. It was just like splat, 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 splat. I was like, whoa.
And you know what?
Lars?
I saw that everyone was done. I saw that didn't look that bad,
Yeah, you're like,
but it was.
yeah, with some Wolverine deep
Yeah,
cuts,
it was.
man. Adamantium, that's what they're mining. That's what we find out. No, I'm just kidding. Weaver and company are getting smoked. They were getting tore up. And then Hal comes in with the big guns and he's taking out a mech. So that bug is just gathering information because how come he's able to still fire upon the people he's supposed to be working for? If they've got that
Yeah,
thing in him.
I think it's something that they are able to turn on and turn off.
Oh, okay.
That's what I kind of thought.
Okay. So just when it benefits Karen,
Right,
pop it on.
right.
When it doesn't, leave it off. Let him be him.
And
Interesting.
it was also this scene too that said, how come these guys didn't have those energy weapons that they had before? Come on. And then I think it was either Pope or Weaver made a comment to, well, where's the Volm? How come they're not helping us?
Oh yeah.
I said, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. That's a great thought. Yeah, that's a great thought. Okay. Weaver and company oh yeah, I already said that. They're getting smoked and Hal comes to the rescue. And then we go back to Tom and the doctor. they're in and they're Anthony and company are setting the charges and such. And the doctor's glasses just conveniently fall off and get broken. And he's like, I can't see a thing. And so Tom's going to have to do all the looking for him. And was it amazing that the buttons were marked as he was saying they should be marked with something that says this and something?
Well, he's a nuclear physicist. He should know that stuff.
Well, I was like, then the labels didn't peel off in all these years? Come on. Come on. Who's used the Dymo out there? You know what I'm talking about. So he's looking for buttons, and then he's got to do the wiring, something about bypassing wiring and such. And so Tom's working on that, which I was like, all right, you got the president in this hot situation in getting hit with low doses of radiation as well. All right. Nobody thought to wear like some kind of radiation suits or anything. So Maggie's outside and she's keeping the harness kids at bay. She didn't have any problem killing them, did she?
Not at all.
None whatsoever. Weaver looks on as they load up the bodies, and him and Pope, even though they disagree, even though he tells Pope, like, shut it or zip it or whatever, it almost appears like they're on the same page, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Because Pope's like, why are the humans putting their lives on the line, but the aliens get to sit back and build their little machine?
Yep.
And then here's the lackluster explosion, in my opinion. I thought that was pretty lame. It was like boom, boom, boom. I was like, right, really? let's get some real deal. We found out Lars is in bad shape, and he's probably gonna die in one episode in. I'm like, oh man. So Tom goes to see him, and he's all like, this is such an honor that you took time to come see me and stuff. And Tom's like, no, the honor is mine. I was like, can we get cheesier than that? Probably not. And then Maggie breaks down. And what did you think about that? Because he calls her family. Did you like that scene or no?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of
too over the top.
Yeah.
I figured you would. I kind of liked it because he's like, you're my family. Can you hold on to my dog tags?
Yeah, because you know what, this is a character we just met.
Yeah, so it doesn't really. It doesn't build anything.
Yeah, because we don't have any connection with this guy. We just know that supposedly he's been with them for a long, long time. Oh,
yeah, you got a good point there. They just kind of stuffed him at us so they could kill somebody off immediately.
Yeah, red shirt. That's all he was. In fact, a glorified red shirt, if I can even say that.
Here, put this shirt on. You're a big dude. You can take some little Wolverine slices. Come on.
Hey, and you know what? Another thing too that we didn't see very much of, who had a large presence in the last season, was Tech.
Yeah.
We just see him briefly, and that's it. So could he be the new Dai, I wonder?
Oh, no. They're going to set him up as the new Dai. Or could it be an actor named Kiwi?
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. All right. Weaver and Tom share a drink, and they talk about the plan to fool the mole. But Weaver still doesn't believe that the Volm are here to help. And that's when Cochise comes in and gives them some props. He was like, great job.
Yeah.
In his alien voice. He's got a pretty good English accent. American English anyway. And,
well, the actor that plays him, normally, he, like I said, he played Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four film. And he never, ever, ever uses his own voice. Always somebody does a voiceover. So I'm not sure if this is his own voice or if it's a voiceover.
Okay. Well, it makes sense. I mean, Yeah. I won't say it. But our Cochise says that they can expect an attack on Charleston. Did his theory of why they would expect an attack, because they want to prove to you that your guys are nothing and you haven't hurt them and damaged them enough or whatever. And I was like,
well, see, he started saying that, and then like the first part of this episode, he said something similar to that, and then then they thought, well, we'll take care of it, and they took care of it. Like, oh, now they're even going to come even harder than before.
Yeah. And that's the part that I was like, does he really know what he's talking about from fighting them so much? Or is he just trying to keep the focus on them so that we don't have, so it's less on him and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's exactly. I think that's what the writers want to convey to the audience.
Which makes sense. I mean, it does make sense that they're trying to trip us up here, because they can't give away everything in the first 2 episodes.
Right.
I know it's only 10 weeks, but they got to have some kind of slow burn and build up to the end, which it looks like they're doing a good job of a few different facets. The Hal situation, the Anne,
Right.
the Star Child, and I hope that name doesn't stick. Somebody please come up with something better than that, please.
Sorry, us Gen Xers are gonna. It's gonna be the Star Child for life. So
Star Child or bust. Oh my goodness. Now, did you notice that Tom was looking at some old pictures, and then that's when Matt finally shows up, and he's talking about his ordeal.
yeah, Matt kind of spills the beans, and
And boy, did Tom go easy on him or what? He's like,
I
oh,
thought so too. But you know what? I'm not quite so sure though, because he says, okay, that's fine. That was a house we were going to use for to put people back. We were going to fix that up. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to fix it up, and you know what? That's fair. He did it. He needs to fix it.
yeah, that's true. And he says that Matt says that he wants to apologize to Anne for what he said or whatever. And then what a little sucker moment when he goes up to her and he's like, I'm sorry for what I said. Do you think I could call you mom? I was like, well, she's gonna go for that.
Yeah, I
He played her to me. I don't know.
definitely. That was a definite play. I mean, come on, we were kids once.
Yeah. Would it be all right if I called you mom? I was like, yeah, that's
And so
instant.
everyone's crying. Oh, that's so sweet. And I said, he's just a little punk kid, just trying to get out of getting in
In
serious
trouble.
trouble.
Yep. Trying to save his own little curly butt.
His own little Jerry curl butt.
Ah, the perm. It's a perm. Oh my goodness. And then what did he say? He commented on the little creepy Star Child, and then she opened her eyes. Then she it was like boom.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then we leave the episode with Maggie waking up, noticing that Hal is gone, and then she goes out looking for him in the woods, and she sees him walking, and then she kind of approaches him and wakes him up, like shakes him and wakes him up, and then he's like freaked out because he's walking, so he starts to fall over.
Yeah. And see, I don't know if it's the hokey thing about this, but she's telling him, see, you can walk. It's all in your head. You can walk. And he kind of finally realized, oh, I guess I can walk. And then guess what? He starts walking. Come on. See, I didn't quite buy that either.
If you throw a baby in water, they can swim.
I don't know.
So
See,
it's
now
all
I was under the impression that Hal was going to be in the wheelchair all season
oh okay.
until maybe like the final two episodes of the season, but I don't think so anymore because you see how good he was walking.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was absolutely fine. And then we see Karen and Skitter are off in the tree line as we go off the air. Ooh, she did.
Yeah.
She looked mad. And I was like, if you're the Overlord, you got that kind of power now. Why don't you just come out there and kill Maggie while you got the opportunity?
Okay, now I got a question for you.
All right, lay it on me.
Is Karen still harnessed?
It looked like her harness was inside her back, like inside. Did you
And
notice that?
so I saw that scene, and the first thing I said was, "She's a Cylon."
Oh no, you didn't
Because
just go there.
oh, I did. I went there. The Battlestar Galactica. They had what number 7. She was a Cylon, and she was having sex with Baltar, and her back lit up just like that.
Epic.
So
It's
nice.
time for us to dish out some our Stupid Mike Memorial Award, Alex. Who do you think? Who are you voting for the?
Oh boy,
There's a lot to choose from this week.
there's a whole plethora of choices this week. I would okay. I'm gonna keep it in the Mason family,
Oh no, he had to do this.
and I'm gonna give it to Ben once more.
Why? Why Ben?
simply because he chose manga over comic books.
Oh, that is terrible. Oh, that's terrible. That sounds more personal than
Oh, it is personal. Believe me, it
be,
is personal.
I was thinking either Matt because of, I mean, just the stupidity of blowing up that abandoned
No,
window.
you know what? But all joking aside,
Okay.
I, th- I'm not sure if we should Matt for that reason, or to
Anne was my second.
Anne for accepting that lame apology.
I was thinking Anne for either for her cumulative stupid acts throughout the show. Why wouldn't you tell Tom about that crazy baby? You don't.
Maybe well, Tom has a lot on his plate right now.
Who,
And
who
I don't
cares
know.
about that? You're trying to lay down while this freaking mutant baby is sitting there talking and standing up and hiding under the bed and all this crazy crap. I'm like, I don't know. So do we agree it's Anne?
Okay, we'll say it's Anne.
Okay, let's give her a little musical acknowledgement. Anne Glass, for your stupidity in not divulging important information to your husband. You are Stupid Mike Memorial Award recipient. Episodes 1 and 2.
You know what? I'm not so sure. We may have to rename this award and just call it the the Stupid Mason Award, because it seems like every time we've been doing this for Fallen Skies, it's been
It's amazing.
somebody in the Mason family we've been giving it to,
That is true. And that's kind of sad. But
and it's usually one of the boys we give it to.
yes. What are they trying to tell us? That boys just do stupid stuff?
I think that's what they're trying to say.
Men are
and
dumb?
Boys do stupid stuff.
Ooh,
I'm a testament to that.
Oh, hey, whoa. I resemble that remark. On the rating front, Alex, where you stand with this, if we clump them together, where do you stand?
Okay, well, the ratings wise, I don't think it was as god awful as a mid episode of Revolution, and I'm glad that it's back on. So I'll give it a strong 8.
I will as well. I think there's a few things that we pointed out throughout the show that hold it back with the weaponry, killing off Arthur and stuff, and the way it happened, and a few just holes here and there hold it back from any further than being an 8. So I agree with you wholeheartedly that this episode, both episodes combined. I thought they started a little stronger than they finished.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because the reveal, we've been off for so long, and the reveals coming, bam, 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 bam. I was like, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in.
Well, and again, I'll reiterate, I'm glad I was scared that they were going to reveal who the mole was by the end of the second episode.
Yeah, and like show their face, like pan up on them and show them.
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't do that. Please don't do that.
And I
cheesy.
think that would have been crappy. I kind of like not knowing who it is and kind of guessing who it is.
Yeah.
And if they would have revealed it to us who it was, but the people of Charleston not knowing who it is, I think that would be kind of lame.
Yeah, I thought so too. I totally agree with your logic in that area. But folks, who do you guys think it is? Who do you believe is the mole? What did you rate the episode? What are your other thoughts, theories, feelings? You can email us at tprfans@yahoo.com or call the voicemail line at +1 810-309-8445. Regular toll charges do apply. Or you could record something on your computer and just attach it to an email and send it to us. Whichever way you want to do it, we will play it. We will talk about it at the top of the next episode. Alex, any final thoughts before we go?
No. Fallen Skies is going to be at the regular time is at 10 p.m.
Yes.
slot. And I don't remember, was that where it was before? Do you remember?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Because that's kind of a late
Yeah.
slot. I think that's why they don't go crazy about the ratings like we're always a little worried about the ratings and stuff. I don't think they go so crazy about the ratings because of that. No,
Right.
being honest and knowing that, hey, a 10 p.m. start time is, you're asking a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
You're asking a lot. Awesome. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Falling Skies Fan Podcast for a couple things I need to mention.
Oh.
We need iTunes reviews. So please, 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 if you listen to us in iTunes or wherever you listen to us, please review the show. That helps us get more exposure and potentially more listeners, viewers, subscribers. So subscribe to the show on iTunes, Zune, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, wherever. Head to tpenetwork.com, look under shows, you'll see the show page. And also, if you're somebody that likes TV shows and you're getting ready to start a podcast, why don't you check out howtopodcast.net. All kinds of free resources there, so check that out. And then please stay tuned after Alex and I say goodbye, because if you're a fan for Under the Dome, I'm going to play a promo for a cool podcast that's coming up from our buddy Wayne Henderson. So check that out. All right, for Alex Cruz, I'm Hank Davis. Until next time, my friends, we're signing off.
See ya.